question.
Hey, there you are.
Okay.
Hold on, I need to pin your video so it's not going anywhere. There you go. Okay, we are good. Now we had a couple of people joining. Hold on. Yeah, it's Enrico, El Pepe. El Pepe is there. I will start the live on Instagram. Getting ready. All right, very good. Okay, konnichiwa, Stefano-san. Can you hear me?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Sure. Yeah, perfectly.
Excellent. First of all, thank you for joining in this idea, this crazy idea to allow people to know a little more about us in these difficult times. And again, as always says, this is a way to not only watch Aikido and techniques and sensei or waka sensei, but just to talk about a little about ourselves, you know. So for people who doesn't know you, can you introduce yourself modestly?
Sure. My name is Stefano. I'm from Torino in Italy since many years. About Aikido, that's I think the main topic. I started Aikido many years ago in 1985. So I was very young, not very and not very strong actually. So I started Aikido just not intentionally. I was not a fan of martial arts.
All right.
Definitely, I was not interested into martial arts.
Really?
I was, yes, I was a small, fat guy.
Okay, fat, you mean fat?
Yeah.
Fat guy, small fat guy. You are quite the opposite now.
Yes, I was a small, fat, lazy. I stay all the day in front of my computer playing video games.
Like it. I like that.
Situation at that time.
Nice. So Aikido made a good change on you, right?
Yeah. So the reason why I started to do Aikido is that I moved to a new apartment with my family, and I met a guy almost my age that was living the floor over my flat, and his father was an Aikido teacher.
All right, good.
So we used to play video games together, and then one day this guy told me, "Oh, why don't we try to practice Aikido?"
Okay.
And I said, "Okay, let's try." And then I went to the dojo. And the funny thing is that I was not admitted because I was too young.
Okay.
But I was already a bit stubborn, so I decided to go to another dojo, and I trained there for 1 year.
Okay.
It was definitely not Iwama-ryu, not Aikikai. I don't even know. Strange styles. You know, at that time, Aikido was not very defined like today. So I trained there for 1 year, not in a kid group. I was not training with kids. I was training with adults.
Okay.
And then after 1 year, I went back to the other dojo and said, okay, now I'm the right age. I want to start here.
Okay.
And then I started it. I never stopped.
And that dojo was affiliated to Aikikai or who?
That dojo at that time was not affiliated with Aikikai. At that time, we had a teacher. The name was Takeji Tomita. This teacher was, of course, it was Aikikai. At that time, everything was Aikikai.
Yeah.
So this teacher was in Sweden, and he used to come to Italy to teach the to train the Italian teachers actually.
Okay.
And he was really close to Moreiro Sensei. So I cannot say exactly the same style, but it was something close. We used to do weapons. Mostly all the exercises we then used to do with Moreiro Sensei and now with Itiro Sensei, they were already there. Of course, a really bad technique at the time. Everything was new, but I already started from the beginning with something very similar to Iwamari.
So from one dojo to this one, besides there was a lot of difference. But what happened with you? I mean, did you feel at that age, at that young age, that it was completely different, that it makes more sense?
No, I was too young.
I
was 11 years old. Really, my main problem was to survive. Everybody was bigger than me. Everybody was stronger than me. And as I told you before, I was definitely not fit.
Okay.
So the first, at least the first 2 years, I just tried to survive.
Good.
Learn me.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. And but then when I started to be like 12, 13 years old, I had a big change in my body. So I became actually from fat to very slim. Yeah. So everything was a bit easier. And then, of course, you're younger, you learn quickly. And then slowly, everything became easier and easier.
Nice. And then until what age? Say it again. Come again?
No, I said until I went to Japan, and then everything became difficult again.
Yeah. So it's like a circle, right? We think that something is going to be better, and then in a certain point we start all over again, right? Yeah, exactly. You get beaten, you feel that you don't know anything, and so. So at what age did you went to Japan for the first time?
I went to Iwama first time in 95.
Okay.
So I was 19
wow.
years old.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And my first travel outside Europe, my first travel on an airplane, I never took an airplane before going to Japan.
Wow.
So I just jumped on the airplane, 14 hours flight. At that time, more or less zero English.
Oh.
I could speak a bit of French.
Okay.
And zero Japanese.
By yourself, or you were with someone else?
Of course. No. I was not by myself, because at that time it was actually almost impossible. You needed an introduction from one of the senpais. It was impossible to introduce yourself in the dojo. So I was introduced by an Italian teacher that was a student of Moreiro Sensei. His name is Giorgio Scari. And I went to Iwama with him the first time.
Nice. And I always ask this question. No, keep going. Sorry.
No, I spent 25 days my first time.
Beautiful. And I always ask this kind of question: is what is the feeling when you step out of the airplane and you feel Tokyo? Do you fly to Narita? You went to the other one? I mean, tell us about us.
I went to Narita. Yeah. Then, of course, in '95, no bus. Okay. So no easy life. You take the bus, go to Chura, then 2 stops, and you are in Iwama. So 3 lines of train.
Yeah.
So landing in Japan is like landing on Mars.
We're little
Especially when
Martians.
you are, yeah, when you are 19, you never, I mean, I used to travel in Europe, but never outside Europe. So you land in Japan, you cannot read anything. Honestly, at that time, the thing I really remember was smelling strange flavors. So
Yeah.
even in the station, you know, there are all soba and udon restaurants, and now I'm really familiar. But at that time, of course, we didn't have Japanese restaurants in Italy. So, and I really didn't like Japanese food.
Yeah.
The first time in Iwama, the food was my worst experience.
Yeah.
Now I love Japanese food.
Exactly. And one of the things that I like about those places for fast food, that actually they are not fast food, they're handmade food, really good ones, is the expanding machine. They give you the ticket, the little piece of thing, and you stand it like, what I'm eating. I mean, there's all Japanese kanjis, and you don't know actually what are you asking for. You know about the same price. So I decided to jump into 600 yen and then point whatever 600 yen I see. And the lady says, but this is not the one you buy, but this is what I want. So it was really complicated, but well, we are gaijins over there. So it was really fun.
That's why there are the vending machines and you can buy ice cream everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can survive with ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah, but so you're the one who takes the bus to Chichura and then the train.
It depends. It depends. I change every time.
Why?
So sometimes actually depends at what time you land. I don't like to wait for too long. So if there is a bus leaving immediately, I take the bus. Otherwise, if I have to wait for 1 hour in Narita to take a bus, I just take a train.
Much. Well, yeah. Well, I remember one time I took the wrong one from Narita. And the same train, well, I mean, different train, also went to Narita City, right? But then I say, well, this is a different because the combination actually is in the other train station. So I had to walk out from that and then start to guessing, where is the other train station? I remember I hearing some noises and I start walking in the middle of the night. There was night already. And I remember there was really, I want to say that's scary because nobody wants to get loose around there. Not because it's dangerous, because you don't know where to go.
Yeah.
But then doing all the jumping from one train to the other is really fun. So tell us about the experience that you have on Iwama. I know, by the way, how many times have you been there? You lost track already, or you know?
So since 95, I think, so after 95, I couldn't go for a couple of years because I was studying, I didn't have money. And then after I took my master, so I started to go every year. Sometimes because of my job, I had to go to Japan to attend a conference, and then I could spend a second stay in Iwama. So the first time I couldn't go to Iwama in the last, let's say, 25 years was last summer.
Wow. Wow.
Then I went every single summer. For sure, starting from 2000 to 2019, I went every summer to Iwama.
And within Iwama City, what is the part that you like the most? What is the place? Because there are plenty of little spaces, the falls or the Atago Mountain, or maybe those special stores that maybe you find something that you really like and you know that they have it. The liquor store, maybe, I don't know. Tell us.
It's difficult to say. Also because Iwama has changed a lot.
Uh-huh.
It used to be, Iwama used to be bigger. There were more shops.
Mm.
Even Kazumi was a two-floor store.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, Kazumi was 2 floors. The ground floor was the supermarket. Like now, there was a free area where you could relax. There was a fast food. You could buy hamburgers there.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, and at the first floor there was a shop for dresses, shoes, and other stuff. So at that time, especially in August when it's really hot, it was nice to go to Kazumi and enjoy the aircon,
Nice.
buy an hamburger, and relax for 1 hour.
Wow.
Before going back to the dojo.
Yeah. Most of the time, when I had this Monday free for us, I go to the next train stop. There is a big mall over there.
Yeah, Chihara.
Yeah, and they have those special sofas with the motion and the massages, and so I spent like a 3 or 4 cycles of that. I mean, it's a free massage for us with all the body bruises and so, and I was like, ah. So tell us about anything that you want to share to us about your experiences in Iwama, because one of the ideas is pushing people to go to Iwama and what to expect. What is your recommendation for them?
It's not easy. I mean, going to Iwama is really personal. So everybody get different feelings. Usually, I like to stay in the dojo. I'm not the type of people. I mean, of course, if I go with students, then you need to bring them around. But if I go there alone, I mainly like to stay in the dojo. So train whenever there is nothing to do and you don't train, you rest so that you are okay when it's time to train.
Yeah.
Because I've seen too many people, they get exhausted. They want to go everywhere, and then when it's time to train, they are too tired and they have no energy to train. So, but when I go to Iwama, I just go there for Aikido.
Yeah. I went to Tomobe by bicycle a couple of times.
Especially if I'm alone. Okay, that's crazy and too much.
Actually, I think it was 3 or 4 times. I went there to Tomobe by bicycle, and the travel is between Iwama, maybe it's like a 45 minutes ride on bicycle. Uphill, downhill, you cross small rivers, plenty of fields, beautiful views, old houses. And we went there because there was this 100 yen shop that you can buy many crazy cheap stuff. And we went there, we came back with a bicycle full of things.
Oh, by the way, you didn't go to Tomobe. You went to Tomobe Square, that is in the middle of nowhere, just with the 100 yen shop and a few restaurants.
Yes, exactly. And I was actually trying to see, well, maybe we can go to the train and come back with a bicycle on the train. I says, no, there's no possible way to do that.
Yeah, it's too far.
Yeah, it's too far. So can you tell us about your experiences within Tarrenkan and the difference between the old dojo? Because you went first on the old dojo with Morihiro Sensei, and then have you been on the inauguration of Tarrenkan? You were there?
Not at the opening. I was not there. That's another very, very strange thing about me. As I told you, I mainly go to Iwama for Aikido. That's bad about me. So I usually try to avoid the periods with too many people. So whenever there are big ceremonies, I really feel uncomfortable there.
Yeah.
So
winter time is for you.
Summertime, August, when there are 40 degrees, 85% humidity, nobody wants to be there. I go there.
Now I understand why you lose so much weight.
Okay. Winter is too easy. You don't sweat. You don't get tired.
Yeah, you don't feel your you don't feel your feet. You don't feel anything,
yeah.
Right?
But summer is for real men. If you survive summer,
okay.
I'm just joking. If you talk with Tristan Sensei, he's the winter guy.
No, he's not. I remember him buying this. I remember buying this special padding, chemical padding, for the heating the hands, the gloves, and he traveling into to have at least moving hands.
Now I've been in winter there 2 or 3 times. I've been there in December, in January, and maybe once in February. Yeah, it's cold, but also where I live is not very warm, so I'm used to to cold places.
I remember so much springtime, everything blooming, flowers everywhere, and picture-wise and scenery-wise. I remember Hisako-san took us to one special, cannot remember the name, but it was like a hill full of special plants, all flower. I got a couple of pictures of that. And it's beautiful. I mean, seeing after all the sakuras and all those trees, then falling the petals of the flowers. It was like a snowing. It's beautiful. It's something that you cannot describe. Everybody should see that.
My first time was in April, so full spring.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So you asked me about the difference between the old dojo and the new dojo. Okay, it depends if you talk about training or about the everyday life.
Actually, so, let's talk about the everyday life. I think it's more. Let's talk about the everyday life. I think that is more juicy.
So everyday life was definitely not like now.
Okay.
Where you have a comfortable place, which is reasonably clean, depending on the people you meet. You have Wi-Fi. You have a real toilet.
By the way, I was the one setting up the Wi-Fi for the first time.
So the old dojo was nothing like this. The old dojo was well, I think you all heard the stories about the toilet. That was not.
Tell us.
Well, it was a hole in the ground mainly. That's it. And you need to be careful because sometimes it was too full, and then it was dangerous.
It splashes.
So, yeah. There was, but apart from the funny stories, compared to now, there was really not a lot of space for Uchideshi to stay. So there was a small, very, very small room where we used to put our suitcases, and well, there was a room for maybe 2-3 people to lie down in the afternoon if you wanted to rest, or the other possibility was to stay in the kitchen.
Okay.
Wow. So, and or to sit outside. That was it, and it was a big land. That means cleaning and taking care of everything was very long.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the morning, sweeping all the tree leaves. You had to do there was this parking area where we used to train, and then behind there were trees you had to clean, and then there was all the ginger area. So it was a lot of work. You actually, depending on the years, you also did some work after Keiko. It was impossible to clean everything before Keiko.
Yeah.
So the shower, there were two showers, one in the kitchen and one in the entrance of the dojo, but they were not really closed. I mean, in winter they were completely cold. In my time, there was already hot water. I heard the stories from the 70s where that there was no hot water in the shower. So, but luckily, I already went there with hot water. So, just one washing machine for everybody. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that the first 2 years I went there, there was even in the kitchen, the sink was not connected. The pipe of the sink was not connected to the draining system, but the water went to a hole outside, and then you had to take the water from the hole with something like a small basket and pour the water on the flowers. So you were not wasting the water you used to wash the dishes. So this was the old dojo.
Yeah, well, it was tougher than now.
Yeah, the everyday life, yes, probably was tougher.
Yeah, I like the times when the weather is okay. And I remember one time it started to snow in the middle of April, and Sensei asked us to clean the snow off the street, to take all of the streets, because it was dangerous for cars to slip, right, and maybe hit the walls or hit us. And it was quite impossible because it was snowing really hard, and we were like 5 or 7 of us try to keep it up. And then I found a big piece of plywood, right? And we use it like a big machine all together. In 2 minutes, we clean the whole thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it. So you train on the Daiki Jinja, and I mean, you have the experience that many of us don't have. And I remember watching videos of Morihiro Sensei, this special video for the Japanese documentary, not the National Geographic one. And I remember seeing many faces, young faces. What's the recall for those days from all the old peoples were young? I mean, I imagine you met many of them.
Yeah. Well, many. There are many people that I met in the first years. I think they stopped. They are not training anymore. Other people, we are still good friends, but we took different paths.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really into all the politic part of Aikido. So I'm still friends. I really keep very separated the friendship with people and the technical part. Yeah. So I'm still in good relationship with many people that decided to stay in Aikikai. As friends, we talk. Of course, we don't talk about Aikido too much. We don't talk about technique because we have completely different ideas. But I mean, it's their choices, and I did my choice.
Yeah.
So, and of course, sometimes I watch videos on YouTube because I'm curious. Even I really don't like learning Aikido on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm completely crazy in this period about the online Aikido classes. This is something, to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I have a lot of friends that they do that. I'm not. I'm not blaming anybody, but for me, Aikido is Keiko means going to the dojo and doing Keiko.
Yeah.
Keiko is a word that in Japanese has a deep meaning, and I don't think I can teach students to do Keiko over an internet connection. So I told my students, well, if you want to do Keiko at home, you can do Keiko at home by yourself.
Yeah.
But not doing videos or similar stuff. I think videos can be good if you want to remember a technique you saw. It's a good way. You film the technique, and then if you forget the movements, they are there. But it's not for learning the technique. It's only to remember. It's like taking notes, but it takes less time to record the video that to write the full technique on paper. And most of the time when you write on paper, then you read it again, you don't understand.
Yeah.
So if you watch a video, then you remember.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I sometimes actually every Saturday we get along with the students of my dojo, and we pretty much only do some suburis. We train suburis. There's nothing else we can do. Besides, there's no correction on the movement or so. At least I'm pushing them to do Keiko. We haven't trained this past weekend because I had things to do. But I see that they are asking. Today I have actually a couple of sentences from them saying I really missed Keikos, and I said to them, this is something that is common for every single one of us. We need to have this connection. We need to have this tiredness, with the legs burning, the wrist hurting, the twisted of the wrist. Everything, we need them. It's like having some kind of addiction to it. So we hope we end it soon this year.
There are many things you can work and work on yourself while you wait. This is exactly the same thing sometimes you see after the summer break. You see after the summer break, people come back to the dojo and they are fat. They are tired, they cannot move. So you spend 2 months at home. If you are lucky like me, I was able to work from home. So most of my day I still work as normal. But then I have a lot of free time I didn't have before. Then you have time to work on yourself. You remember maybe you were weak in your legs when during Keiko. Then work on your legs. You do movements by yourself and you improve. You are stiff. Most of the people around, they are very stiff shoulders, stiff elbows. Then you work a lot, and then when you go back to the dojo, you are flexible and you can do much more. I mean, I don't think Aikido is just going to the dojo to do suburi. There's a universe behind Aikido. So there is the technical part, there is the physical part, and there is the mental and spiritual part. So at the moment, the only real part we cannot train is the technical part. Mm-hmm. We don't have a partner, we don't have our teacher, but we can work on everything else. So we can read about the spiritual part of Aikido. We can work on our body, and then when we go back to the dojo, we will be better, and then we start working again on the technical part.
I really appreciate that for everybody to hear. So we get better when we get back. We're gonna be running out of time in a couple of minutes because we only have 40 minutes. It's 34 minutes already, 36 minutes. So there's anything else you can add? Any particular idea that you're gonna share? Anything?
Yeah, I have one message for everybody. In the last few years, I've seen less people going to Iwama because there are so many. Especially, I'm talking about Europe because I mainly know Europe. There are many high-level teachers in Europe, so people can learn in Europe. I tell everybody, as soon as we can travel again, try to go to Iwama. It's not, in terms of money, it's not much different than the holidays. Most of the money you spend most of the time in your holidays. Sometimes if you are good, it's even cheaper. So we need to go to Iwama because going to Iwama, it's 3 weeks in Iwama is like training maybe 1 year in your dojo.
Yep.
Especially now the level in Iwama, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the highest level I ever seen in Iwama.
Wow. Okay. Good message.
Now is the time to go to Iwama. Now is the time to get teaching from Hitero Sensei. It's time to get teaching from Yasuhiro Sensei at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like I had a similar moment in the past with Morihiro Sensei and Hitero Sensei. I was lucky to be there. So now it's another lucky period. So we will be able to travel soon. I tell especially the young guys, don't go to the beach if you can go to Iwama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then, Stefano-san. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. I really thank you. Be safe, please. Let's stay in touch a little more. Okay.
You too.
Yes. Take care.
Bye,
thank you so much.
Bye,
everybody. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Ciao.